Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining tonight's Tuesday Talks webinar. My name is Susan Brown, and I'm the Associate Director of Parent and Family Programs. It is our pleasure to be hosting a webinar on tonight's topic, Preparing for Commencement 2019. Tonight, you'll be hearing from Christina Pasquale. She is the Assistant Director of the Commencement Office. During tonight's talk, you are invited to type questions into the Q&A pod, which is on the right side of your screen. Questions will be answered following the presentation. So I'm going to turn it over to Christina right now. Christina, thank you so much for joining us. I know many parents are so excited about commencement coming around the corner, not too far away.
Thank you for having me. So we'll start off with just the agenda for the evening. So we'll talk about some planning tips and recommendations, ceremony details, tickets for the ceremony and parking, hotel information, the commencement fest that will be going on, and other college-related events, and finally a Q&A session at the end. So some planning tips for you. Your student should have already applied to graduate. It's the registration portal through the My Northeastern that each student receives an email from the registrar's office in the fall. This is what we use to collect RSVP for the ceremony. Once you've confirmed that with your student, I would review the ceremony details. The ceremony will be at the TD Garden in Boston. Students will need to report at 7:15 a.m. to the garden. That gives us time to line them up according to college and degree in alpha order. You would also recommend checking all the financial obligations that your student might have. It won't prevent them from attending the ceremony, but it will prevent them from receiving their diploma if there's anything outstanding on their end. Cap and gown pickup, this is what they'll be wearing to the ceremony. It's provided at no cost to the students and can be kept as a memento. The schedule is as follows, and your student can pick it up themselves, but they can also have a friend pick it up for them if they're unavailable. So Friday, April 26th from 10 until 6 p.m., Monday, April 28th from 10 to 7, and Tuesday, April 29th from 10 to 7. And this is on campus at Solomon Court in the Cabot Center. Now some ceremony details. So the ceremony itself is on Friday, May 3rd, as you know. It's at 10:30. That means the ceremony begins at 10:30, but you can get there as early as 7:30 when the doors open. It'll be at the garden. There's about 3,900 students graduating this year, a little more than 100 from last year. Ticket is required for entry, so those will go through your students. They download those through their My Northeastern. I'll get to that more details in a second. The student procession begins at 9:05. That means that the students will begin walking into the ceremony to sit down in their seats at that time. It does take us that long to get all the students seated. And the ceremony is approximately 2.5 hours. All right, so in some other ceremony details regarding the TD Garden policies, there's a lot of restrictions, so large bags, backpacks, briefcases, food and beverages, but they will be having some concessions open for small snacks and drinks. No laptop computers or tablets. Wrapped gifts and balloons will be prohibited. Professional cameras, you can bring small digital cameras, that's okay, but large cameras in large camera bags are prohibited. Selfie sticks and large banners, you can look at the full policy at the TD Garden website at the link below. So for guest tickets, each student receives 4 electronic guest tickets, which will be available online through their My Northeastern portal. This will begin the beginning of April, we're aiming for, and the student will get an email from our office giving them instructions on how to download the 4 tickets. Please make sure that your student gives you the tickets prior to the ceremony because there's no call window or anything like that. So admission is by ticket only, but the tickets can be emailed in a PDF form. And unfortunately, extra tickets are not available due to the large amount of students who are participating this year. Again, 3,900 students will pack the garden to capacity. And if you're unable to attend or have family members that want to watch it online, it'll be streamed live on the Northeastern homepage. That's just northeastern.edu. So for parking at the garden, it is very limited. There are garages around the area, which you can look at on the link below, but we highly recommend public transportation. There's 2 stops that go there, the Green Line and the Orange Line. You can find all of the details on the MBTA website. There is handicapped accessible parking in those garages, but again, it's for first come, first serve, and you will have to pay for the parking. It's advisable that you do bring a wheelchair if your guest has any mobility issues. There's a small drop-off area in front of the garden, but again, it is very chaotic, and traffic really backs up in that area. So I would recommend public transportation for all of this. And parking will not be available on campus that day, as we have some graduate level ceremonies going on that day. So for hotels, we do partner with a hotel booking website. The link is below on our website, and this website kind of gives you an idea of local hotels. There are a couple special rate hotels which they create with the hotel directly, and you can find that they're listed on the website there. For photos, there's a photographer on site at Cap and Gown, which your students can go pick up their cap and gown and take a photo in their cap and gown there. Those proofs are emailed to the students after for purchasing. There will also be photographers at the ceremony. There'll be a couple candid shots of your student receiving their diploma, shaking hands with their deans, etc. But the proofs will be emailed a few days after the student's ceremony. And for more information, you can go to the gradimages.com. That is our company that we use. And starting on other commencement-related events that week, Commencement Fest is sponsored by the Office of Alumni Relations, and that is on Thursday, May 2nd, and that's from 5 to 7:30 at Centennial Common. It's a complimentary event, but you do have to register. Your students should do that at the link right there below. And the contact information is Adrienne Denenberg. She's the Director for Alumni Relations. And if your student has a college or department-related event, they are listed on our website. We receive them directly from the college or department themselves. So if it's not listed, we might not necessarily have it from the college. You can probably contact the college directly if you have a question, if there's something being held for your student. But all of that information, again, is on our website listed by date, and there is usually a contact person for each of those ceremonies. And if you have other questions, feel free to call or email us. We're always here.
So thank you, Christina. That was a good overview of graduation week and what takes place, but kind of want to talk about a few other things. I know a lot of parents and families came in a little bit late, so everybody knows we are recording this session, and we will be sending out the slides to you probably by Monday, March 18th. So be checking your email. You can go on our Tuesday Talks website to get some of our past previous talks and this one tonight. So I think some parents came in late. Tickets, if we could just review that for a few minutes.
Yeah.
How many tickets do they get? What if you want an additional one?
4 tickets per student, and our office does not have extra tickets, but we do recommend students kind of networking and seeing if their friends or classmates have any extra tickets that they're not using. It's general admission, so there's no seat numbers. Tickets are interchangeable that way. That's what we highly recommend. We do not recommend purchasing. We have seen that in the past. There's no functionality to these tickets, so I don't recommend doing that.
So are there e-tickets?
Okay.
Yep.
You can show them either on your phone or print it out.
We'll stick with the topic of tickets for a moment. So I know some of the individual colleges are doing their own ceremonies. Do those require tickets? And if so, how do they get them?
Most of them do require tickets. That information is usually it should be listed on our website, but there is a contact person for each of those ceremonies listed. I recommend reaching out to them. We don't handle the logistics for their ceremonies, unfortunately, but anything on campus usually would require a ticket, and that information is usually emailed to your student directly.
And those tickets are typically limited to,
yeah.
So they want to check the website for that to see how many actual guests can go for that.
Yeah, tickets are required for anything that has a capacity in the venue.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about some of the colleges, because people are asking. What is the difference between the ceremony that they do like on Thursday before the university ceremony with everybody included? Is there a difference?
If there's a college-related ceremony, so for example, College of Engineering holds a celebration. They do call names at that ceremony. It's a more intimate, smaller ceremony with just the college. And at the university ceremony on Friday, We do not call names because of the amount of students that are there. We do give diplomas out for May graduates, but that's pretty much the big difference there.
Mm-hmm. I know you said the alumni office is hosting the Commencement Fest,
Yep.
is it called? I know that's usually a beautiful event that takes place in Centennial Commons, and can you just explain a little bit about, what takes place during that time? I know it's a fun event, and I know they have picture-taking opportunities and things like that, but I'm guessing it's more informal and just a time to get together.
Yeah, it's more informal. It's just kind of it's a fest. It's a festival. It's very informal. They have like photo booths and complimentary hors d'oeuvres and drinks and stuff. It's nothing academic related. It's just a fun time for everyone to get together. I believe the deans for each college usually show up to mingle with the parents and the students as well.
I know some of the parents have asking us that there are a few of the colleges that may not be hosting a ceremony. Will they be added, or just some of them just don't do it and they just have the one ceremony?
Some colleges don't have a smaller event. Some specific programs might. For example, College of Science, the college itself does not have an event, but the smaller programs within the college might have a small celebration. And those, again, are listed all in our, there's a decent amount of them listed now. I can't remember all of them, unfortunately, but you can go on the website, and they are listed. Whatever I've received has been listed there.
And if they don't see their college, they can call the college to see if they will be hosting.
I would recommend contacting the college, or your student can contact their program director and see if there's anything being held that week.
You mentioned that there'll be a photographer there, and I've actually purchased the pictures myself for my student. They do a great job.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that, how that process works?
Sure.
And then also, are there announcements that parents can order too?
So for the photos at the ceremony, your student at their seats, they'll fill out a little card that we provide to them, and as they're walking up to receive their degree, they hand that over to our photographer, so we know exactly the order of the student, who your student is, and how we match up that name with the photo. And they're usually really good about that. And then it's usually it's a little less than a week after they send the proofs to your student's email. And if for any reason you don't get them in that week, then we can reach out to our photographer and make sure we get those for you.
Okay.
And announcements you had mentioned. We don't partner with anyone for announcements, but I can provide a vendor that does have them for us. It's CB Grad, and if anyone's interested in that, after this I can give a little more information to Susan, and then if that's helpful.
That's helpful. I know you said the parents can enter, I believe, 7:10, was it?
7:15.
7:15 in the morning. The ceremony doesn't begin until 10:30 in the morning. Are students sitting by college? How will parents know where their students are and what section of the arena?
So we do line them up according to, so any student who's finishing this spring semester is a May graduate, and they will receive their diploma. So they need to be seated together, and they'll be seated by college and degree and then alpha order. The students who graduated in December or have a little more time to finish in August will be seated together by college and degree as well, just not alpha order because they will be getting a diploma.
So can you speak a little bit more about the camera policy? The parents are asking about different sizes and if they have a bag with them.
I wouldn't recommend bringing a large camera bag. Like a small digital camera is completely okay. Anything that looks suspicious, basically, they'll go through it. I can't guarantee that you'll be able to get through with it. I just wouldn't bring a large camera. I think 12 by 12 by 12 is kind of the standard. Anything bigger than that is definitely a no-go.
Okay. Someone's asking, are there any costs associated to any of the events during that weekend?
Usually, if it's an academic-related event, most likely not. I don't think there's anything, any cost.
I know students do take part in what they call senior week, the week leading up to commencement, and there's some fees attached to that.
Yeah, those are different,
and that's all done on their portal where they can get tickets to.
Yeah, they have to get tickets
and
register,
Someone's asking, can you repeat the company that does the announcements again?
B as in boy, Grad. And I believe they're part of Balfour now, our ring company, actually. And they do have them. We stopped doing them for a little while, but they do have our information, so you can go through them to do that.
So, students that are graduating with honors, how are they recognized? And
It'll be listed in the program, the printed program, and they'll receive an honor cord. So they'll be able to pick that up at cap and gown pickup. And if they're an August graduate who haven't completely finished yet, we take their current GPA and base the honors on that.
So someone's asking, if my son's, is he supposed to order the stoles for the Latin honors graduation? Or is that giving to them?
So we provide the gold cord, which is for the honors designation, but any type of stole for a different organization would go through that group directly.
Several questions coming in about who will be the when will that be announced, the commencement speaker? When can parents participate? I know probably
in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
And then it will be on our university's website.
It'll be on the website. Yep, it'll be through Northeastern News, and we'll post it on our website as well.
I know you mentioned the night before the commencement and the night of that parents are unable to park their cars on campus. Do you have any suggestions of where they can go? Any paid facilities?
There is Renaissance Garage on campus. That is a paid facility. I don't have any other garage suggestions in the area. If you're staying at a hotel, I would recommend parking at the hotel.
Okay. Will the seating plan with the colleges be no? Like how will parents know?
Yeah, so we'll
science is sitting ahead of time.
So when you arrive at the ceremony, you'll get a program when you get in there, and it'll be in the back of the program. It'll be listed by college and degree, so you'll know exactly where your child will be sitting, and one of the ushers there can direct you kind of the location.
I know 2020 is May 1st. And they're asking, is it always on the first Friday of May? I don't think we could commit past more than 2020.
Yeah, we can't commit past next year, unfortunately. It is typically the first Friday in May, but I can't promise that it won't change after next year.
Yeah. So there seems to be some parents are asking about how many tickets for the smaller college receptions. They are listed on the commencement's website, each of the individual colleges. It will tell you if it's a reception or if it's a ceremony and how many tickets are limited. So if you did miss that, it is on the commencement's website.
Yep, and if the tickets aren't listed, there should be a contact person that you can email or give them a call and confirm that information with them.
Do faculty, professors, anybody who attends the ceremony?
So faculty, we recruit faculty to help line up the students. We call them faculty marshals, and they are there all morning, and then they help the students leave the garden as well. We have faculty that sit on the stage with the president and our senior leadership team, and some trustees also attend as well.
You had mentioned the ceremony typically is 2.5 hours.
Approximately, yeah.
I've been to several of them, and it usually is very true.
Yeah.
My suggestion be, and you might want to concur with me on this one, is that you set a meeting location where you're going to meet your student because it really is busy. And
highly recommend doing that. If you know the area, you know it gets pretty congested over there, and they are doing a lot of construction in the area currently as well. So it is a great idea to kind of pick either a restaurant or a coffee shop or something that's nearby to meet your student, because it does get really, really crazy with everyone leaving at that time.
The 4 tickets includes guests, not the students, right?
Correct.
Okay, so I just want to make that clear.
The student will receive their student ticket, and that'll help them get in, but it's not included in the 4 guest ticket.
So in regards to handicap parking and handicap seating, let's go with parking first. If they go down to the garden, I think you said there are some spaces down there where they would park in that garage. But in regards to seating in the garden, what do they do there? And are there a lot of seats available? How many people can sit with them?
Yeah. So it's first come first serve, but there is accessible seating on every level of the garden. So what we recommend is you don't have to reserve it. When you arrive with your guest that needs the seating, we recommend just going up to the garden. We use their ushers, so it's like if you go to a concert or a basketball game or something there, they'll be able to direct you exactly to the elevator that you need to take to that section, And then if it's an open seating section, you would be allowed one escort into that section with the person that needs that seating. This is just to keep it limited to those who actually need it. And if you do have more family members around that need to sit with you, it's surrounded by the actual seating, so that shouldn't be a problem.
How long typically, if parents are taking the MBTA down from, let's say, the stop and from Northeastern, what would you suggest, a half an hour or so in the morning?
I would say like 20 to 25 minutes. And you can take the green line or you can take the orange line.
And what would you say, I know you said they can get in as early as 7:15 in the morning. What would you really suggest for parents? Is still good seating at 8:30?
I would say I think around like 8 to 8:30 it starts really getting packed in there. If you want like a prime seat, get there at 7:15. But it is a long day, so if you don't feel like sitting for that long, I would say probably like 8 o'clock would be ideal.
8 o'clock would be ideal. Okay. And then I know everybody wants to celebrate afterwards and go out to lunch and dinner. And do you recommend them make reservations early? And maybe approximately what time? By the time you actually make your way out of there.
Definitely make reservations. There's so many good restaurants in that area, so I would probably make the reservation to be on the safe side. I would say 2:30. That gives you time. It usually ends at around 1. Gives you time to meet up with your student, take some photos outside if you really want to, and then get to the restaurant. Obviously, if you're staying in that area, the north end is right there, so that's where a lot of people go.
So for the students who are graduating afterwards in the fall, is there a ceremony for them, and when do they walk?
So August students, people who do summer 1 and summer 2, participate in the ceremony, but students that are completing courses in the fall, they'll technically be a December graduate, so they wouldn't participate until next year, 2020.
Christina, if I could have you just go back to one of the first two slides.
Sure.
And we're just going to highlight a couple of the brief points here. Guest tickets, ceremony details. People are asking how many graduates. You had mentioned there's 3,900.
3,900, yep. A lot of students.
And the student procession, and that is when they go into the actual...
That's when they start, right when we finish lining them up, that's the time that we start walking them in to get to their seats. And it definitely doesn't take that long.
So I'm just showing this slide because I know a few people missed it, and we'll go to the next one briefly for a moment. This was just the policy of what not to bring into the TD garden, right?
Yep.
And we'll leave that up on the screen for a moment. And then I will click to the next slide just so people can see. We're just going over briefly. I know I'm getting a lot of questions about the tickets because some people came in late, and those tickets are electronic. Each day are received floor. That does not include the student.
Correct.
Extra tickets are not available.
Don't have any extra tickets.
No extra tickets because we have, what did you say, 3,900 students graduating? Okay. Can you just give a little overview of what the ceremony is like once the students come into the garden? What happens? Who speaks first? Then, when do the diplomas given out? That type of thing.
Yeah. So the president will speak. He gives probably like a 10-minute speech. They go through. There's a student speaker as well. That hasn't been announced either yet. And we give out honorary degrees. So our keynote speaker receives an honorary degree. There's usually probably 2 to 3 others that also receive an honorary degree. So they get hooded. There's a small little photo up there. Diploma distribution usually begins around 11:45, and that usually takes about an hour to get everyone through. The names are not called again. Students walk up in front of the stage. We have 4 stations set up for diplomas and diploma covers. For those who aren't actually receiving a diploma, they'll get a cover that looks like they're receiving their diploma for the photo opportunity.
Now, will students get an email telling about all the steps and everything that needs to take place, and when around will that email be going out?
So we just recently closed the graduation application for registration to be eligible. So we are planning on sending some informational emails out starting next week, and that would include ticket information and cap and gown pickup information and kind of basic things that they need to know before going to the ceremony.
Names are not called, but they do walk, and they have the opportunity to take their picture taken. Someone's asking, are there any other ceremonies taking place in the garden that day?
No, unless there's a playoff basketball game after us, which is what happened last year.
Does a lot of crowds there then? Or?
Not then, but they usually like to get us out quickly.
And in regards to, we have some questions about when will the students need to be moving out? They are asked to move out the following day, Saturday, typically by 11 a.m. If you need to talk to someone in housing, you can email housing@northeastern.edu if you need an extension or you have questions about times. They'd be more than happy to answer those questions. So, are there any ceremonies on Wednesday?
There are a couple. Again, let's do it on our website. I believe the DeMoore McKim School of Business undergraduate celebration is that day, and that's on campus in Matthews Arena. And they do call names at that ceremony. There are tickets required. I believe it's 3, but you can double check the website.
What kind of attire should you wear?
Students wear anything. I mean, I would say, I don't know, I would say like business dressy. For students, girls usually wear dresses, and they make sure they wear their cute shoes to show because they're wearing their gown. And the guys wear, some of them wear suits, but nice pants and a nice shirt is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Since they are wearing their gowns, I mean, you won't really see anything. But for guests, I would say dressy business, I guess.
So I know they haven't announced a student speaker. I think they're still taking applications for that. And is there one speaker typically for that, the student speaker?
There's usually, just one. Actually, yeah, there's just one. I believe the deadline for that application, I think it's this week. I think they extended it a little bit. So, and that information is also on the form is on our website as well, and that's through the Student Activities Office.
Here's a good question. Do students do they have a practice rehearsal for the graduation?
No practice rehearsal.
Okay.
When they arrive, the faculty marshal that's designated to their lineup area they're great. They kind of give the students all of the information they need to know. Basically, the students just need to stand there and make sure that they follow the line.
It really is well.
It's very well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think parents will be impressed with what takes place that day. If a student is unable to pick up their cap and gown, can they have someone else do it if they're out of the country? Or?
Yep. A friend or a classmate can pick up their gown for them. Basically, we don't need to check ID or anything. The student will receive their own ticket, and we ask them to bring that ticket to Cap and Gown because it does have their Cap and Gown information on it to help us give them their correct size and all of that. So if their friend just wants to email that ticket to their other friend to pick it up on their behalf, that is okay with us.
So in regards to 2020, someone is asking when should you make a hotel reservation for that date. The date for 2020 will be May 1st.
The other ceremonies that week are not confirmed yet, and those will not be confirmed until the fall. So if you are planning to go to another, like a college ceremony for your student, and you're coming from far away, then I would recommend waiting until you know exactly when that date is, and then plan your reservation around that for sure. But we usually have that schedule up no later than November, so you should have that info then.
There's a follow-up question to the dual graduation undergraduate students. Can they also pick up their graduate hood at the same time if they're in the master's
If
program?
they're getting both degrees?
Yes.
Yeah, they can pick up both sets of, they get 2 different gowns. The master's gown is a little different than the bachelor, so they can pick up both at coming on pickup with their hood.
As you know, Christina, the most popular question is tickets.
I recommend having a party after maybe for your students. That's what my mom did when we didn't have enough tickets.
So the students actually get the diploma that day, right?
Yep, as long as they fulfill all their academic and financial obligations, and if they're a spring May graduate, they will receive it that day.
Is there a different date for the master's degree graduation dates, or is that by individual college?
So the graduate level is by individual college. This is just due to the fact that we outgrew the arena that we had the graduate ceremony in last year. So and those are listed on our website under our graduation ceremonies. So they are on different dates, but they don't conflict with the Friday ceremony. We make sure of that, obviously. So depending on your son or daughter's college, it's listed there with more details.
In regards to student athletes, do they wear a separate hood or anything, or is anything?
I believe they get some some sort of stole, which would be provided by their team, I believe, directly. We don't handle any of the smaller, like ceremony adornments that students wear. It would go through whatever program they're in.
Well, I think we answered most of the questions. Like I said, if we did not answer your question, please feel free to email, or you can give us a call at 1-800-696-6516. I do want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. I hope you found this session useful and helpful in your planning. I know it's an exciting time, and I want to congratulate all the parents having students graduate this year. We are shortly going to ask you to take a brief survey. I would appreciate if you could take just a few moments to provide us some feedback on tonight's session, as well as suggest some future topics that you would like to hear from. Our next webinar will take place on April 23rd at 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the topic will be Research and Innovation at Northeastern. So we'll hope you'll be able to join us then. I want to thank Christina. Thank you again for taking the time to review the commencement process, and we wish everybody the best, happiest day. That day is really, pray for sunshine.
Yes.
That helps too. So thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.